Have you encountered a toilet in the bathroom and maybe making incessant noises, whether that be a noise like shh or sometimes just a stop, stop? There are many facets to this problem. However, many toilets don't. They only have a limited number of parts, so it should be. It should be if you replace a couple parts, you should get close to it. It depends on how old the toilet is. My opinion is if the toilet is beyond 5 years old, you may just want to replace the entire toilet. But that's just, and replace it with a good toilet, not an El Cheapo. If you do the El Cheapo, you will revisit the problem again, and it may not give you the satisfaction or the flush that you need. But on this particular part here, this is called a fill valve. And what happens, the water comes up and begins to fill the tank. Now, you will not be able to see this fill valve because it's inside of the tank unless you put the lid down where you sit on the toilet and then lift the lid from the tank, and then you should see it. Normally, it's on your left-hand side. And below it has threads. It goes into a hole, has a rubber grommet, and the rubber grommet helps it. And then it has a nut on the bottom that tightens it up. Now, do be sure to put the rubber grommet on, because if you fail to put the rubber grommet on, you may encounter water leaking through the bowl and dripping fairly heavily on the floor. So be sure that rubber grommet's on. Normally, when you buy one, the grommet's on there, but don't take it off thinking that you don't need it, because you will. And the grommet is down here where the threaded part is. Then you would have a hose coming. You would have either an angle stop or a straight stop coming off. Generally speaking, most normal situations would be a 1/2-inch pipe, and most normal braided hoses or hose would be a 3/8 to 7/8 for a toilet. Do keep in mind, again, 3/8 to 7/8. Now, kitchen sinks and bathroom sinks are a different size. So, but toilets normally 3/8 to 7/8. 3/8 goes on to the threaded part where the angle stop, and the angle stop is simply a cutoff. That's just a fancy term, or it's at an angle coming up that way, and it allows you to turn the water off in case you're working on the toilet, in case it overflows, in case something's not doing. Now, this particular part here is the float. So this part here would go up and down. So when the water level gets to a certain height, it would push this up. And when it pushes this up, the idea is to stop the water. So once the water's coming up, once this has come to a certain level, then this will stop the water. But if your fill valve, now we had gone into a video how to replace the grommet, etc. But again, my opinion is if you have trouble out of a fill valve, they're not very expensive. So it may save you, instead of trying to nickel and dime something, it may save you to spend a few extra dollars and just put a brand new fill valve in. It's not a lengthy job. It's very quick. A good plumber can expedite the time frame, and a homeowner can do it yourself. But be sure when you cut the water off to be sure to turn the water off at the cutoff, whether the angle stop or straight stop. And you may want to sop the water out, flush the toilet a time or two, but otherwise you may need some rags, because sometimes the water from the tank drip through the hole once you take it out. So or you can sometimes maybe even put a towel in there and kind of sop it up and leave the towel until you get the fill valve in. But this water level will push it up. But if the fill valve's making some weird and strange noises, it's not filling up in a timely manner, etc., easiest thing to do is just replace the fill valve. And this is a fill valve for a toilet. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.